What's up, guys? Just here by my channel. Tonight, I'll be doing a review for Monday Night Raw. So let's get to it then. We have a segment with Seth Rollins and stuff. Seth Rollins, music hits and stuff. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman with the Shula, Fala, and Paul Heyman come out to the ring. Rollins is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and he looks to be in the mood to celebrate. Paul Heyman gets on the mic and says he's the GOAT. He says he's not just the greatest of all time. He is our humble oracle. He talks about being in the presence of the future of the WWE. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Seth Rollins. He talks about how Roman Reigns hasn't been champion for a long time and how CM Punk was a champion for mere minutes. Heyman says since Rollins crashed the wedding and stole the bride and went on the honeymoon, he wants to do this right and introduces Seth Rollins. Rollins talks about everyone who turned their back on him after WrestleMania and shames everyone who chanted CM Punk. Rollins says no one should ever doubt him again because he did what he said and he's the champion. Rollins shames every wrestler in the back who stood in his way and made this harder for him and than it should have been. Rollins lets us know that only two people knew of his plan: Paul Heyman and Becky Lynch, and now they have absolute power, and this is the vision. LA Knight interrupts Rollins and says he's not here for a fight, but he's here to answer questions. The first question he is answering is why Rollins has faked his injury. Knight says he faked the injury to escape the wrath of Knight. Knight reminds Rollins that he's the last guy to beat him, and he'll be the next guy to beat him. Knight says he will take Rollins' belt, and there's no better time and place than here and now. Rollins declines the challenge and leaves. Leaves the ring. I'm sorry. Pierce comes out and tells Rollins a champion wouldn't lie to his GM or the WWE fans. Pierce says the match will happen tonight, and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are banned from ringside. I'm surprised they didn't say Paul Heyman to be how you say, banned and stuff. They would get a Judgment Day and stuff. Walked backstage, so yeah, and AJ Styles says I'll come in for that belt and stuff. So yeah. So anyways, we have the first match coming up: Rusev versus Sheamus. Sheamus charges to the ring, and Rusev gets to him first and punches him out. The two brawl around the ring. Rusev mounts Sheamus, and Sheamus flips Rusev and mounts him. Sheamus takes down Rusev with a clothesline, and then Rusev is knocked outside the ring. Sheamus goes out to get Rusev, but Rusev kicks Sheamus and slams him into the barricades outside the ring. Rusev throws Sheamus back in the ring and slams down Sheamus. Sheamus delivers some body strikes and then is kicked down by Rusev. Rusev elbows Sheamus and hits Sheamus with an uppercut. The two battle in the corner, and Rusev drops Sheamus with a knee. Rusev climbs the ropes, and Sheamus knocks Rusev down and climbs up to Sheamus hits white noise from the middle rope. And we cut commercial break. Back to Raw. Back to Raw. See me. Rusev has Sheamus down on the mat in a chin lock. Sheamus powers out of the hole, but his elbow down. Rusev kicks Sheamus a couple times, and Sheamus tells Rusev to give him more. After several kicks, Sheamus is all energized and catches a big catches a kick. I'm sorry, by Rusev. It hits some body shots on Rusev and takes Rusev down with a backbreaker. Rusev is knocked out to the apron, and Sheamus goes for 10 beats on Rusev. Rusev guillotines Sheamus. Sheamus is slammed into a ring post. Rusev stalks Sheamus and runs at him outside the ring. Sheamus catches Rusev and slams him on the announce desk. Rusev sends Sheamus into steel steps, and Sheamus dumps Rusev over the barricades. Rusev gives Sheamus his own version of 10 beats, but Sheamus breaks free and gives Rusev 10 beats, and both men are counted out. So a double count out, no contest. After the match, Rusev and Sheamus battle outside the ring. Rusev throws the steps on Sheamus and goes to hit him with a shillelagh, but Sheamus kicks Rusev. They continue fighting. By the way, they continue fighting the whole entire night. Then we cut a New Day and stuff. Talk to Grayson Waller and all that. Then talk to Penta and stuff. And so yeah. So second match coming up: Penta versus Grayson Waller. We get the bell and the men lock up. Waller tosses Penta to the corner and taunts him. Waller gets out of a hole. Penta tries to put him in, and then Waller slaps Penta in a headlock. Penta reverses it and walks on Waller. Waller is taken down by a head scissor that sends Waller out of the ring. The New Day comes out still in black mourning, and Waller is excited to see him, but they ignore Waller in the ring. Penta kicks Waller, and Waller pulls Penta out of the ring and stands him into announce desk. Waller hits Penta with a running clothesline. at commercial break. We're back from commercial break, and Waller's kneeing Penta in the ring. Penta kicks Waller and takes him down with a sling blade and then a backbreaker. Penta kicks Waller in the corner and then hits his handstand kick and covers Waller for a 2 count. Waller punches Penta and hits a set out power bomb on Penta and covers Penta for a near fall. Waller misses a flying elbow and Penta rolls him up for a 2 count. Penta kicks Waller and Waller kicks Penta back. They trade punches and then take each other down with a double net breaker. Penta kicks Waller and hits a modified Mexican destroyer and gets the win. So winner is Penta. After the match, the New Day gets in Penta's face and Penta knocks him out of the ring. Then backstage we see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair walk in when Sheamus and Rusev come by and continue and stuff. So man, anyways, then we come back to commercial break. We have a little segment and stuff. Charlotte Flair and Elizabeth make their way out to the ring. Flair talks about how amazing it feels to be holding a WWE Championship tag and stuff. Bliss says we are champions. They keep going back and forth on whether they're friends or not. I'm so glad they're addressing this because we're not their friends or is keeping up or whatever. Anyways, that person said that, not me. Flair talks about how many times she held a title and as Bliss, how many times she has. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez come out. Rodriguez and Perez talk about Flair and Bliss being friends, and Perez says all that matters is that they get their championships back. Rodriguez says they're out here to get the titles back tonight. Flair says they'll fight right here and right now. And Pierce comes out and makes the official. So third match coming up, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair were the champions versus Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. Alright, Bliss is immediately thrown across the ring by Rodriguez. Perez is tagged in, and Bliss is double teamed. Perez hangs Bliss up in the corner and then slams her head into the turnbuckles. Bliss takes Perez down and with a head scissors and then tags out to Flair. Perez attacks Flair but is taken down with a clothesline. Rodriguez is tagged in and Flair is taken down by a body check. Flair is slammed into the corner and Flair turns around and slams Rodriguez into the corner and punches her down. Flair hits a middle rope, a head scissor, and then tries to suplex Rodriguez but can't. Perez is tagged in and she boots Flair to the mat. Perez and Rodriguez double team Flair and knocks her out of the ring. Perez suicide dives out to Flair and rolls Flair back in the ring. Perez kicks Flair in the corner and tags Rodriguez. Flair takes out Perez and Rodriguez knees attacks Bliss. They both hit natural selection and cover both for a near fall. Bliss kicks Rodriguez and then kicks Rodriguez out of the ring. Bliss goes to cannonball Rodriguez, but Rodriguez catches her and tosses her onto the barricades, and we get commercial break. After that, we're back from commercial break. Rodriguez has Bliss in the middle of the ring in a headlock. Bliss punches out of the hole and tries to tag to Flair, but Rodriguez doesn't let her. Bliss hits a DT on Rodriguez and tags Flair. Flair comes off the top rope and takes out both Rodriguez and Perez. Flair chops the shit out of Rodriguez and it's a walkover clothesline. Clotheslines on Flair clicks down Rodriguez and it's a fallaway slam on Perez. Flair goes for a moonsault and on both Rodriguez and Perez. It covers Rodriguez for a 2 count. Perez tags in and Flair is double teamed and covered for a 2 count. Perez unleashes a ton of punches on Flair and goes for pop rocks but misses. Flair slams Perez face first into the turnbuckles and clotheslines Rodriguez off the apron. Perez guillotines Flair and throws Flair off the top rope with the Hurricanrana. Rodriguez is tagged in as she hits a corkscrew elbow on Flair and Bliss breaks the pin. Perez is tagged in. Flair sends both Perez and Rodriguez outside the ring. Perez pulls Bliss out of the ring, not allowing Bliss to tag, but she already did. Bliss intercepts Perez and hits Sister Abigail to get the win. So winner is still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Then we see after that finish Io Sky and Asuka and Kurt Angle talk backstage until Rhea Ripley comes out and stuff and asks her to talk about the match and so she could be here again and stuff. And then after that, Liv Morgan and Bayley argue backstage and they're both arguing and stuff about Liv Morgan won't get another match again. So yeah, anyways, fourth match coming up, Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. Alright, Lee charges at Mysterio at the bell and sends Mysterio out of the ring. Lee flies out onto him, and then Mysterio is sent in the ring. Lee punches out Mysterio in the corner and punches him against the ring post. Lee chops Mysterio and punches him and some more. Mysterio guillotines Lee and Lee falls out of the ring. Mysterio goes out and chops Lee and then throws him back in the ring. Mysterio splashes onto Lee and covers him for a near fall. Lee is choked on the ropes and Mysterio goes for 619 but misses, allowing Lee to now get the upper hand. The action spills out onto the apron, and Mysterio hits a DT on the apron with commercial break. Back from break, Lee reverses a suplex and kicks Mysterio. Lee kicks Mysterio in the corner. Lee takes down Mysterio and covers Mysterio for a 2 count. Lee power bombs Mysterio and covers him for a near fall. Mysterio punches Lee as he's on the top row, and Mysterio climbs the ropes too. Lee punches Mysterio and hangs up in the corner. Lee jumps onto Mysterio and takes out Mysterio. El Grande Americano runs out, and a second one comes out too, as does a third one. Mysterio knocks Lee with his shoe and gets the win, as Lee was distracted. So winner, Dominic Mysterio. After the match, AJ Styles runs out and tries to beat up Mysterio, who is able to run away. Then Jackie Raven talks to Sami Zayn stuff about Karrion Kross and talking about the steel pipe and stuff. He says not how it works and stuff. Then he wants to be champ also. And then Rusev and Sheamus break up his interview, and Zayn gets involved in the brawl. So yeah. Anyways, next coming up is Becky Lynch, little segment stuff. They come back from commercial break. Becky Lynch makes her way out to the ring with her new entrance music. Lynch says Laura Valkyria is gone, as she can't challenge Lynch for the IC title since she lost at SummerSlam. Lynch asks who wants to be next to face her, but she isn't having an open challenge tonight. Nikki Bella's music hits and she comes down to the ring. Bella says Lynch is one of the greatest and says she's so proud of what she's done with her potential, but she's ended up being such a disappointment. Bella says she doesn't understand why Lynch came back. Is it because she's failed in Hollywood? Lynch plugs Happy Gilmore 2 and talks about Bella's role in the film getting cut because she told him. Bella calls Lynch a liar like her husband, and Bella says everyone sees right through Lynch and her lies. Lynch tells Bella to not talk about her and her husband, and that they're the greatest couple of all time. She then brings up Bella and Cena, and that Bella can't see him anymore. Damn, man, the fans jumped out of their seat when they heard that. They're like, oh shit. They're like, holy shit, holy shit. Me, I jumped out of my seat too. I was like, damn, I was so fucked up. I was like, damn, man. And there's the Cena taunt, and Lynch says she came up to combat Bella's era, so Bella has no right to talk about what Lynch does in her era. Bella asks for a title shot. Lynch tells Bella why they never fought one-on-one, and then she sucker punches Bella and leaves. Then Bryan decides to talk to Naomi backstage, and then after that, Stephanie Valkyrie came and stuff to fight her for the title and stuff. So yeah, then after that, Becky Lynch walks backstage. Natalya, Maxine Dupree, and Akira's dog come out, and so tell her Natalya wanted a match against her. Then Becky Lynch says no, I want Maxine Dupree and stuff. So yeah, it was crazy. Anyways, so main event coming up, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. It's Rollins, who was a champion, with Paul Heyman versus LA Knight. Knight strikes Rollins after the bell and continues to punch Rollins in the corner. Rollins fires back with punches of his own and then stomps on Knight against the ropes. Knight clotheslines Rollins down and suplexes him and covers for a 2 count. Knight connects with a neck breaker, and the two exchange punches and kicks until Rollins is tossed out of the ring. Knight goes after Rollins, and Rollins uses Heyman as a shield, but Knight is on to Rollins and knows his plan. Knight slams Rollins into an announce desk, and Rollins starts throwing Knight around. Knight is slammed onto the barricades and gets hung up on the barricades, and Rollins double stomps him and cut commercial break. Then we come back with commercial break to our main event. Rollins has Knight down and stalks him in the ring. Rollins chops Knight, and Knight fires back with chops of his own. Rollins tries for a pedigree, but Knight reverses it to a backdrop. Rollins sends Knight face first into a turnbuckles and then climbs the ropes. Knight runs up and suplexes Rollins and covers for a near fall. Rollins chops Knight, and Knight chops Rollins back. The two trade punches back and forth in the middle of the ring. Knight goes punch after punch and clotheslines Rollins down, and then takes Rollins down with a leg sweep. Knight hits a net breaker and covers Rollins for a near fall. Rollins catches Knight with a jawbreaker, and Knight power slams Rollins, attacks Knight. Knight slams down Rollins after Rollins slams. Rollins misses a stomp and covers Rollins for a 2 count. Knight tries for a BFT, but Knight rolls him up for a near fall. Knight goes for a BFT again, and Rollins counters to a parry, but Knight counters that. Knight comes off the top rope and hits a flying elbow. Rollins invades a BFT and heads out of the ring. Knight kicks him through the ropes, sending Rollins crashing into announce desk. Knight slams Rollins' head into announce desk as Knight tries to get Rollins up. Rollins headbutts Knight in the low blow. He does a low blow name. And then Rollins slams Knight into the ring post. Rollins mounts Knight and punches him out. Rollins keeps going in and out of the ring to break the 10 count, and then goes back outside the ring and rips off the padding on the floor. Knight is slammed into the ring post again and then positioned on the concrete floor. Rollins goes to curb stomp Knight on the floor, and CM Punk comes out of the crowd and attacks Rollins. So winner by disqualification and still World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Alright, after match, Punk and Rollins brawl. Knight is pissed. Punk ruined his chance at the belt and goes after Rollins, and Punk Braun Breaker runs down and spears Punk in the ring. Bronson Reed beats up Knight. Punk and Knight get beaten up by Reed, and Breaker and Rollins gets back in the ring. Rollins stomps Knight and then stomps Knight. Punk holds his belt in the ring and stands with his arms raised as Knight and Punk are laid out. Heyman joins the trio in the ring as we get the credits and stuff rolling. As Rollins leaves with his boys, Roman Reigns comes out and Superman punches Reed and throws Breaker into the steps. Rollins runs into the ring and Reigns follows him. As Reigns gets in the ring, Rollins rolls out and distracts Reigns. Breaker tries to spear Reigns, but he catches Breaker and takes him down. Reed goes to attack Reigns, but Reigns fights him off. Rollins runs in and stomps Reigns to the mat and then beats on Reigns with Reed. Rollins and Reed stand Reigns up, allowing Breaker to spear Reigns. They set Reigns up near the corner, and Reed hits 3 tsunamis on Reigns. Officials run out to break this chaos. Reed steals Reigns' shoes again. So yeah, and then that's how the show ends and stuff. So yeah, good show tonight, man. Tonight was kind of wild. Holy shit, man. Oh man, Sheamus being a shit, Rusev, and all that stuff, being a shit at each other, and then Sami Zayn gets involved at the last minute, and it was crazy tonight. So then Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella segment and stuff. Oh man, that was super fucked up, man. Oh shit, I thought Becky Lynch was gonna talk about her last, marriage and stuff. So yeah, well, she wasn't married to John Cena, but I meant like, her other, who I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, I think I didn't talk about that and shit. But, oh man, that was, oh shit, crazy as hell. Very good show. I enjoyed it. The whole show was good and stuff. So, yeah, after a day aftermath of SummerSlam and all that. So, yeah, anyways, that was this first video. Hope you like it. Not whatever. So like, subscribe, hit the button, and leave a comment. If you guys only comment, so and carry guys, and that was it. I'll see you guys Wednesday night for AW Dynamite. Alright, laters.